The knocking won't stop. Bang, bang, bang. It isn't even sunrise yet. You force yourself out of bed. Your wife, Eleanor, stirs beside you. Thomas, who's at the door? You don't answer. The knocking grows louder. You grab the wooden latch and slowly pull the door open. Standing outside is your neighbor, John. Except, he doesn't look like John anymore. His clothes are soaked with sweat. His breathing is shallow. His face is pale. His eyes are filled with terror. He opens his mouth to speak. Only one sentence comes out. She's gone. Behind him, his wife lies motionless in the dirt. She was alive yesterday. Now she's dead. No wounds. No blood. No sign of violence. Just gone. Within the next 12 months, millions of people across Europe will die the exact same way. No one knows what's causing it. No one knows how to stop it. And starting today, your village is next. Yesterday, your biggest problem was money. Your name is Thomas, 27 years old. A carpenter. You don't build castles. You don't work for kings. You repair doors, build tables, fix broken carts. It's honest work. Most days, it's enough. You live in a small English village with your wife, Eleanor, and your 6-year-old son, William. Every morning starts the same. William runs outside before breakfast. Eleanor complains he'll ruin his boots. He laughs anyway. You pretend to be angry. He laughs even harder. Life isn't easy, but it's predictable, and predictable feels safe. Every Sunday, the church bell rings. Every market day, farmers fill the square. Children chase chickens through muddy streets. Neighbors know each other's names. You know exactly what tomorrow will look like. Or, at least you thought you did. 3 weeks ago, travelers arrived from London. Their horses looked exhausted. So did they. One of them refused to enter the village. He stood near the well and quietly said, "Don't go south." Someone asked why. The traveler looked around, making sure his children couldn't hear. Then he whispered, "People are dying faster than we can bury them." The entire square fell silent. For a moment, nobody laughed. Then the village blacksmith shrugged. Stories. Another man nodded. People always exaggerate. Someone joked, "If death was really coming, we'd see it." Everyone laughed. Even you. Because fear always sounds ridiculous when it's happening somewhere else. That evening, you forgot the conversation completely. You played outside with William, shared bread with Eleanor, watched the sun disappear behind the hills. Just another ordinary day. The kind of day no one remembers, because no one realizes. It's their last normal day. The next morning, John doesn't leave his house. That isn't like him. John is always the first man awake. By sunrise, he's usually already working his fields. Today, his front door never opens. You don't think much of it. People get sick. People recover. That's life. You kiss Eleanor goodbye. William is still trying to convince his mother that breakfast tastes better with honey. You laugh, then head toward your workshop. The village feels different. Not empty, just quieter. The blacksmith isn't singing while he works. The baker isn't shouting at late customers. Even the dogs seem strangely calm. You stop outside John's cottage. His shutters are closed. No smoke rises from the chimney. Then, you hear crying. Not loud, just enough. A child's cry. You knock. No answer. You knock again. Nothing. The crying stops. The silence that follows feels worse. By midday, everyone has heard. John is dead. His wife, already buried this morning. Their youngest daughter, burning with fever. The priest tells everyone to pray. The village healer burns herbs inside the cottage. Someone hangs flowers above the door. Another family nails a small wooden cross outside their house. Everyone has a different answer. No one has the right one, because no one knows what they're fighting. That afternoon, you notice something strange. People stop shaking hands. Neighbors stand farther apart. The market is still open, but nobody stays to talk. Conversations become whispers. Every cough makes people turn their heads. Fear spreads faster than any illness. That evening, William asks, "Dad, can I go play with Peter tomorrow?" You hesitate. Peter is John's son. You think for a moment, then quietly say, "Not tomorrow." William frowns. Why? You force a smile. They're busy. He accepts the answer. Children usually do. Eleanor doesn't. After William goes to sleep, she looks at you across the table. You're scared. You don't answer. Because she's right. Not scared of dying. Scared because, for the first time in your life, you have no idea how to protect your family. 2 days later, the church bell rings again. Then again. Then again, not for Sunday, for another funeral, and another, and another. Soon, no one counts the bells anymore. They only wait to hear whose name comes next. 3 days later, the market doesn't open. Not because there's no food, because there's no one willing to sell it. The baker's door stays shut. The butcher never arrives. Even the tavern is empty. You stand in the middle of the square, listening. Nothing. No merchants. No children. No laughter. Only the wind. On your way home, you see two men carrying a wooden cart. Not filled with grain. Not with firewood. Bodies. Covered with rough wool blankets. One small hand slips over the edge. It can't be more than 8 years old. Neither man speaks. They simply keep walking toward the church. That afternoon, Father Edmund visits your house. He looks exhausted. Dark circles hang beneath his eyes. When was your last confession? He asks quietly. Eleanor answers before you can. Last Sunday. The priest nods. Good. Then, almost as if speaking to himself, he whispers, I don't know how many more Sundays we'll have. For the first time, you see fear in the priest's eyes. If even he doesn't have answers, who does? The next morning, someone bangs on your workshop door. It's Robert, the village blacksmith. He's breathing hard. You need to come. What happened? It's Henry. You know Henry. Strong. Healthy. Only 30 years old. You follow Robert across the village. A small crowd has gathered outside Henry's house. No one wants to go inside. Finally, Henry's wife opens the door. She's crying. Henry lies on the floor. His skin burns with fever. He's barely conscious. Then, he reaches toward his neck. You follow his hand. There's a swelling. Just below his jaw. Large. Dark. Painful. You've never seen anything like it. Henry groans as even the weight of his own hand touches it. His wife whispers, It wasn't there yesterday. The village healer kneels beside him. She mixes crushed herbs with vinegar, places a damp cloth on his forehead, checks his breathing, then quietly stands. Without saying a word, her silence says everything. By sunset, Henry is dead, less than 2 days after his fever began. No battle, no accident, no wound. A healthy man, gone, just like that. That night, you can't sleep. Every sound wakes you. William coughs once. You sit upright immediately. He rolls over. Still asleep. Just a normal cough. You tell yourself that. Again and again. But when dawn finally comes, you realize you never closed your eyes. Outside, the church bell rings. Once, twice, 3 times. Then it doesn't stop. It keeps ringing. For people you've known your entire life. The next morning, no one comes to your workshop. Not a single customer. The broken cart outside your house stays broken. The loose gate across the road stays hanging. For the first time in years, there's no work. Not because people don't need a carpenter. Because survival has become more important than repairs. Eleanor quietly counts what's left. 1 sack of oats. Half a wheel of cheese. Some dried beans. A few onions. If you're careful, maybe 10 days. Maybe less. William doesn't notice. He happily asks, Can we have honey again? Eleanor forces a smile. Not today. He nods. Children accept disappointment much easier than adults. You decide to walk to the market anyway. Maybe someone is still selling food. Maybe. The square looks nothing like it did a week ago. Most stalls are empty. Doors are locked. A few merchants have simply disappeared. Nobody knows if they fled or died. The smell has changed. It no longer smells like fresh bread and roasted meat. It smells damp, rotten, like something the village can't hide anymore. A wagon rolls slowly through the square. No vegetables, no barrels, no supplies, only bodies, wrapped in blankets, stacked one beside another. The driver doesn't stop. He doesn't even look at them anymore. His face is empty, as if this has already become normal. You step aside. William's toy wooden horse slips from your pocket. You'd promised to repair it tonight. You pick it up. Your hands are shaking. As you turn toward home, you notice every window is closed. Not because it's cold. People are hiding. Some are praying. Some are crying. Some are pretending. Everything will be normal tomorrow. That afternoon, Robert, the blacksmith, arrives at your door. He doesn't come inside. He stands several steps away, farther than usual, almost as if he's afraid of you. Or afraid for you. His voice is barely above a whisper. They buried my wife this morning. You don't know what to say? There wasn't even enough time to make her a proper grave. The words hang in the air. Heavy, painful, real. You take 1 step toward him. Instinctively, he immediately steps back. Don't. You freeze. For the first time, a friend is afraid to stand near you. That evening, William runs to the window. Dad, there are no birds. You walk over. He's right. The trees are still. The rooftops are silent. Even the crows are gone. The entire village feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for something worse. After dinner, Eleanor quietly reaches across the table and takes your hand. Neither of you speaks. There are no comforting words left. Only questions. Questions no one can answer. Outside, the church bell rings again. This time, you don't count how many times, because you already know. It's ringing for someone you knew. And tomorrow, it may ring for someone else. Or for you. That night, you don't sleep. Every creak of the house sounds like someone knocking. Every cough makes your heart stop. You keep staring at William. He's sleeping peacefully, one arm wrapped around his wooden horse. Too young to understand why his parents keep whispering after dark. Before sunrise, someone finally knocks. Not frantically. Slowly. Weakly. You already know who it is. Robert. You open the door. For a second, you don't recognize him. Only yesterday, he was broad-shouldered. Strong. Today, he looks 20 years older. His clothes hang loosely from his body. His lips are dry. Then, you see it. A dark swelling beneath his arm. He notices your eyes. So, it found me too. Neither of you speaks. There is nothing left to say. Robert reaches into his pocket. He places a small iron hammer in your hand. My father made this. I wanted William to have it. When he's older, you immediately push it back. You're giving it to him yourself. Robert smiles. Not because he believes you. Because he knows you're lying to protect him. I shouldn't stay. They'll blame you if they see me here. He turns to leave. Halfway down the path, he stops. Without looking back, he quietly says, if you can leave, leave now. Then he disappears into the morning fog. You never see him again. The village begins changing in ways no one expected. People no longer greet each other. Neighbors avoid eye contact. Doors stay locked. Windows remain closed. Entire families vanish overnight. No goodbyes. No funerals. Just empty houses. By afternoon, the churchyard is full. There isn't enough space. Fresh graves are dug beside older ones. Then beside those. Eventually, the gravediggers stop making individual graves altogether. There simply isn't enough time. The dead are buried as quickly as possible. Not because people don't care, because the living are running out of strength. That evening, William asks the question you've been dreading. Dad, why doesn't anyone play outside anymore? You look at Eleanor. She looks back at you. Neither of you knows how to explain death to a 6-year-old, so you kneel beside him. There are a lot of sick people. When they get better, everyone will come back. William nods. He believes you completely. Children trust their parents, even when their parents don't believe themselves. Late that night, Eleanor quietly whispers, we can't stay. You don't answer immediately. This is your home, your workshop, everything you've ever built, everything you've ever owned. Leaving means abandoning it all. Staying might mean abandoning your son's future instead. For the first time, the impossible decision becomes real. Do you stay, or do you risk everything? By walking into an unknown world already consumed by the plague, Thomas looks toward the window. Outside, another church bell begins to ring. This time, it sounds closer than ever before. You make your decision before sunrise. We leave. The words barely leave your mouth before Eleanor begins packing. Not clothes, not furniture, food, a water skin, a blanket, William's wooden horse. Nothing else matters now. Your home, built with your own hands, will stay behind. Outside, the village no longer feels alive. The streets that once echoed with merchants and children are silent. A cart lies overturned in the mud. No one bothers to pick it up. A loaf of bread sits outside the bakery, untouched. A week ago, someone would have fought over it. Now, no one even looks at it. You keep William between you and Eleanor. Don't touch anything. He nods, too frightened to ask why. As you pass the church, you stop. Not because you want to, because you have to. The doors are wide open. Inside, people aren't praying anymore. They're waiting. Some sit quietly against the walls. Others lie on the floor, too weak to move. The priest walks from person to person. He no longer asks their names. There isn't time. As you continue toward the edge of the village, a rider appears on the road. His horse is exhausted. Its legs tremble with every step. He doesn't slow down. He simply shouts, Turn back. No town will let you in. They think we're all infected. Then he's gone. The sound of his horse fades into the distance. William looks up at you. Dad, where are we going? You swallow hard. I don't know. It's the first completely honest answer you've given him in days. The three of you reach the old stone bridge. Cross it, and your village will be behind you forever. You stop. One last look. Smoke still rises from a few chimneys. The church bell rings again. Somewhere, a dog howls. This place was your entire world. Now, it's a place you're running from. You squeeze Eleanor's hand. She squeezes back. Without another word, you step onto the bridge. Halfway across, William suddenly starts coughing. Once, twice, then again. The world seems to stop. Eleanor drops to her knees beside him. Her face turns pale. Thomas doesn't move. He can't. Every story, every rumor, every funeral rushes back into his mind. William looks up. Dad, I swallowed dust. He coughs one last time, then smiles. I'm okay. Neither you nor Eleanor smile back. Because for the first time, you realize something terrifying. From now on, every cough, every fever, every headache will make you wonder, is this the beginning or just another ordinary day? The road ahead is almost empty, not because no one is traveling, because everyone who could leave already has, and many never made it this far. You walk for hours. No destination. Just away. William grows tired. Without saying a word, you lift him onto your shoulders. He's getting too heavy for this, but you'll carry him anyway, because that's what fathers do. By late afternoon, you see another village in the distance. For the first time in days. Hope. Smoke rises from chimneys. Children run between houses. People are alive. You smile. We made it. Then, the church bell rings. Once, twice, 3 times. A man standing near the village gate notices your family. He immediately raises his hand. Stop. Several others rush over. They don't carry swords. They carry fear. Where are you from? You answer honestly. Our village, 2 days east. The moment they hear it, their faces change. Go back. We can't. My son, please. An older man slowly shakes his head. If we let you in, everyone here could die. The heavy wooden gate closes. Not with anger, with desperation. You stand there for several seconds, staring at the walls. Not because they hate you, because they're just as terrified as you are. As the sun begins to set, you realize something. The Black Death didn't only destroy bodies. It destroyed trust. Neighbors feared neighbors. Families feared strangers. Every handshake became a risk. Every traveler, a possible death sentence. History tells us that the Black Death killed tens of millions of people across Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia, making it one of the deadliest pandemics ever recorded. But numbers don't tell the whole story. They don't tell you about fathers carrying exhausted children, or mothers pretending everything would be okay, or friends saying goodbye without knowing it was the last time. Those stories were rarely written down, but they happened. Every single day, Thomas looks at Eleanor, then at William, already asleep against his shoulder. Tomorrow, they'll keep walking, because tomorrow is all they have left. And if you had lived through the Black Death, you probably wouldn't have remembered kings, or battles, or famous names. You would have remembered exactly what Thomas remembered: the sound of church bells, the silence of empty streets, and the desperate hope that the people you loved would still be alive when the sun came up.